She said she was protecting me, but protection shouldn't feel like a prison, and love shouldn't hurt like this. My mother always said the world was dangerous, that people lie, that love can destroy you. What she never told me is that she'd be the one to prove it. I used to think she was my safe haven. She lied. And I built my entire life on that lie. Before I tell you what happened next, if you've ever been deceived by someone you loved, please like this video, because what I'm about to share might heal you or completely break you. I grew up in a silent house at the end of a forgotten street. No laughter, no visitors, just me and her. The curtains were always closed. The clocks ticked too loud, and my mother's eyes were always watching me. Every night, she tucked me into bed and whispered, "Now you're safe. No one can hurt you," and I believed her because I needed to believe. But safety became a story I kept repeating to myself over and over, like a prayer that had stopped working. When I was little, I thought she was a hero. She worked 2 jobs, never smiled, but never gave up. I used to draw the 2 of us holding hands under a sun I never saw. She'd hang those drawings on the fridge like trophies of our survival. But sometimes I caught her staring at them, crying. I'd ask why. She'd only say, "Because love hurts, my dear, even when it's the right kind." There were rules in that house, rules that made no sense. Don't talk to the neighbors, don't open the door without me, and never ask about your father. Never, she said. It was to protect me. But even as a child, I felt something was wrong, as if the walls were hiding something alive. One night, I woke up to the sound of her voice, soft, pleading. She was on the phone, crying quietly. "No, you can't come here. My daughter can't know." I froze in the hallway. Our eyes met, and for a second she looked terrified. Then she smiled, too quickly. "Go back to bed, my sweet girl. Mummy's just tired." But I knew it wasn't true. I started doubting my mother. I even wondered if she was really my mother. The years passed. Her hair turned grey too soon. She grew quiet, almost haunted. And the quieter she became, the more questions grew inside me. Who was he? What couldn't I know? Why did she always seem to be running from her own shadow? When I turned 16, she gave me a bracelet, silver engraved with a single word, faith, she said. "As long as you wear this, nothing bad will touch you." I wore it every day. I thought it was love. Now I know it was a collar. I remember that night clearly, the night she told me my father was dead. It wasn't even a conversation. It was an order. She walked into my room holding an old photo. The man looked young, kind, almost fragile. He had my eyes, the same sadness hiding behind the smile. She said, "If anyone asks, your father died before you were born." Then she tore the photo in half. I wanted to ask why, but something in her eyes told me to stay silent. And I did. For years, I built my life around her story. My father was dead. The world was dangerous, and she was my savior, until the day I found the letter. It was hidden inside the lining of an old coat, folded, worn, and stained with tears. Addressed to her, but signed by him. You can't hide him forever. He deserves to know the truth. I read it over and over until the words blurred together. It felt like my whole life had been rewritten, and only now I realized I'd been reading the wrong book. When I confronted her, she didn't deny it. She didn't even look surprised. Just tired. As if she'd been waiting for that moment her entire life. She said, "I lied to protect you." "Protect me from what?" I asked. Her lips trembled. "From him." She said he was dangerous. That he had done something terrible. That she ran away to save me. I asked what he had done. She didn't answer. She only said, "Some truths destroy more than lies." But that wasn't true, because the lie was already destroying me. For weeks, I couldn't eat or sleep. Every time I looked at her, I saw the wall she built between us. And I needed to know what was on the other side. So I searched old papers, letters, even hospital records. That's when I found the document. My birth certificate. The father's name wasn't blank. It was blacked out, erased with ink. But part of the signature was still visible. Enough for me to trace it. Enough to find him. He lived just 2 towns away, the whole time, while she told me he was dead. Being the worried daughter I was, I didn't tell her. I just went. The house was small, surrounded by dead trees. When he opened the door, he froze, as if he was seeing a ghost with his own face. "I think you're my father," I said. He didn't speak. He just stepped aside and let me in. Inside, the house smelled of dust and memories. Photos covered the walls. Photos of me. Images from a childhood I had never seen. My first steps. My first school uniform. "How do you have these?" I asked. He said, "Your mother sent them. Every year. She wanted me to stay away, but she couldn't stop loving you. I didn't know what to believe anymore," he told his version. Said they were young, in love, but something went wrong. Didn't say what. Just that one night changed everything. "She ran away," he said, "and I never saw you again." He looked at me as if I was his redemption, but all I saw was another lie, just in a different shape. When I came home, she was waiting, sitting in the dark, as she always did when truth got too close. Her voice was fragile. "You found him." I only nodded. "He told you I'm the villain, didn't he?" she asked. I didn't answer, because I no longer knew, she said. "Then he didn't tell you what he did." I begged her to tell me. I needed the truth. She looked at me like she was about to break. "He hurt me," she whispered, "once. For real, and I thought keeping you from him would stop the pain." She started shaking. He said he'd change. They always say that, but pain doesn't change people. It just buries them. I wanted to believe her, but something was missing. Something in her eyes told me that even this wasn't the whole truth. A week later, I got a message from him. A photo, a police report, her name, filed against her. She wasn't running from him. She was running from what she'd done to him. When I showed her the photo, she collapsed. No tears, no excuses, just silence. As a respectful daughter, I sat quietly for a few minutes, then finally said, "You said you were protecting me. But maybe you were protecting yourself." And in that moment, I realized love and fear look a lot alike when you grow up surrounded by lies. I moved out a month later. She still calls sometimes, but I don't answer because I never know which version of her will speak, the mother who loved me or the woman who trapped me. People think betrayal happens once, but it doesn't. It echoes, it rewrites who you are. Every time someone says, "You look just like your mother," I wonder which part, the lie or the love. If this story touched you, don't leave without subscribing, because every week we reveal truths that could happen in any family, even yours. In the next story, I'll tell you what she confessed before she died.